Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it is day 1 of our September 2021 release, and I have 3 cards to share with you today. Hey everybody, so I'm using the Stitch Square dies, Fall dies, Halloween Banner dies, Halloween dies 1 and 2, Fall Banner dies, and I'm using Doodlebug's Ghost Town 6-inch and 12-inch, a bunch of different shape sprinkles, and the Dot Grid Daisy Stripe Rainbow Petite Prints, and then Jaded Blossom's brand new large Halloween Treat stamp set. So this is an A2 size card made with Paper Tray Inks Spring Moss cardstock, 4.25 by 11 inches, scored at 5.5 inches. And this is a piece of paper from that pad, cut 1/8 of an inch smaller. And I'm just adding it to the front of this card with some ATG tape. So there we go. Working on my Stampin' Up! Pad as normal. Now I went ahead and I cut squares out of that same Spring Moss cardstock, and then I cut a shadow layer with black American Crafts cardstock, 1/8 of an inch larger for all the squares. I used a 1-inch square, 1.5 inch square, and then the 3-inch square. And now I'm sticking down my sentiment. Isn't that beautiful? I just love it. There are new outline dies for these sentiments too, but I decided to just go ahead and use it straight on the card. And they're just beautiful. There we go. Try to use things a little differently because, you know, not everyone's a colorer. Not everyone wants to die cut. And that's what I try to do. I try to, you know, switch things up a little bit. Now, I used my Gemini machine to cut out all my dies. Now, these are from the Fall Banner dies. I cut them out with Orange Zest Paper Tray Ink cardstock along with American Crafts black cardstock. And they are adorable. I love the little faces. They're so cute. And I went ahead and I cut the leaves from that same Fall Banner set out of that Doodlebug's Dot Grid Daisy Stripe Rainbow Petite Prints pad. Boy, that's a lot to say. So I'm just sticking everything together with my art glitter glue, using my EK Success reverse tweezers to stick everything down. Adding little leaves, you know, just to, you know, when you're using die cuts, you kind of want to add something to them. Sometimes it's nice to, you know, ink blend. I didn't this time, but I have in the past. It's whatever floats your boat. Now I'm adding pumpkin faces to this pumpkin that I cut from the fall die set. And I'm going to add a little jack-o'-lantern face to it using VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. It's always good to try the stamp out on a piece of paper. I guess there was something stuck to my stamp, and that wouldn't have stamped well. So I had to sort of scratch it off, and then I was back in business. There we go. Isn't that cute? Oh, it's so cute. I love the face sets from Jaded Blossom. They have super cute ones that, you know, fit all the different stamps. So now I'm adding in another little leaf to the top of this jack-o'-lantern. How cute is that? I think this one is my favorite card out of all 3, but you'll have to tell me which one you like the best. So now this is the jack-o'-lantern from, I think it's from Halloween Dies 2. Or is it Halloween Dies 1? Well, whatever, it's listed, like I said. And I just put a piece of scrap brown cardstock on the back of it so I could stick the eyes, a nose, and mouth in place. And those were cut out of the American Crafts black cardstock. It's the one that has some texture. And I'm just adding it to the spots with my EK Success tweezers. So easy stuff. Now I've grabbed a Copic marker. This is E18. It could be any brown. I'm just adding brown to the stem. And then I'm going to add a couple of leaves from that same pad from Doodlebug onto this. Now, these were really easy cards to make. Like, you know, when you're making a few cards, when you come up with a card design, you can just make it multiple times. So now I'm going to be sticking down my little squares to my card front. And you'll notice it says trick or treat, and then it's little kids trick or treating on this paper. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's super cute. So now I am adding each of these squares, and where they overlap, there's going to be a lump if you don't sort of pad up the areas that aren't overlapping. And I learned this from Christy Marcotte. She has a video, she makes videos on YouTube. They're great. She makes tons of cards on there. It's lots of fun to watch. And now she's trapped me into doing the same thing she does, building up the corners. And you know what? It does make a difference, people. It really does. So now I am doing that. I'm sort of adding scraps and popping up the edges. So when these squares overlap on my card front, they don't cause any kind of wrinkles or bumps or lumps or anything on there. So it just looks better. It really does. There we go. And I'm going to stick that down. I'm just testing it, and it seemed good, so I will stick that down in place. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding on my little jack-o'-lanterns. And I've got to, add a little bit of cardstock to the back of this one too, because it's going to be overhanging off that square. There we are. And then I'm going to sort of nestle that in. When I'm making cards, I like to kind of create a focal point. So these 3 squares are kind of going to be where I put all of my little images. That's what I'm going for. And it kind of separates it from the busy background a bit. So at least that's what I do. I'm not a professional, but that's my deal. So now I'm going to be pulling out the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, just peeling off the backs, and then I will be sticking these guys down. And isn't that cute? I just think that's an adorable little pumpkin. It's so cute. And then now I'm going to be adding on my little fall banner pumpkins. Now you can make these without the faces too. You can always have that choice. The big jack-o'-lantern on the upper right, though, that comes that way. Now I'm pulling out the pumpkin sprinkles. It's called Jolly Jack-o'-lantern shape sprinkles from Doodlebug, and I'm going to add one there. And then I'm pulling out the Halloween night sprinkles. And I'm adding a few to this card base just for some interest. I tend to hoard these sprinkles instead of using them, so I'm trying to make an effort to actually use them. And add a few purple ones just to match the background while I'm at it. And there we go. I thought it turned out pretty cute. So now I've got this one sped up really fast. This card was made on Hibiscus Burst from Paper Tray Ink. And the pattern paper is from the same pad. The white paper is American Crafts. And I'm just layering this up. So this is kind of like a time lapse. And I'm adding faces from that same Pumpkin Faces stamp set where that's textured cardstock. So it's a little bit funny. So, I had to fill it in with a Copic multi-liner. And I used RV17 Copic to fill in the tongues. There we go. So aren't those cute? Adorable. So now, and I used Silly Spiders on that last one. So now this is the last card that I'm making today. And this is on Winter Wisteria from Paper Tray Ink. A2 size card base again, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5. The paper is an 1/8 of an inch smaller. I'm using the exact same squares with an 1/8 inch border, exactly the same. But I'll be using some different focal points. So it's a different sentiment. So a spooky treat for you is the sentiment. Aren't they beautiful? I just love these sentiments. They have such a beautiful font. I think they'll look great on all your Halloween cards, all your cutesy Halloween cards. Just taking off any stray little paper hangers on from my dull blade, paper cutter that I use. I've got a Fiskars one that I use sometimes, and I need to change the blade really. But you can use one of those nail file sponges to kind of shave off the stuff that's, when you get those little hairs. Will come right off with one of those. It's pretty handy. But I really need to just change the blade on the darn thing. So there we go. So now I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm building up the edges for when I overlap, to keep everything level. So I'm just using card scraps to do that. So, easy stuff. Art glitter glue again. And this one I'm kind of doing a candy theme since the sentiment is a Halloween or a spooky treat for you. So I thought that would be kind of fun. And I am looking how to add my last one. And I have to add a lot more paper for the edges. So you have to add, you've got to add them all up. So, you'd need, no layers for the first one, 2 layers for the second one, and then 3 layers for the third one, just so they all lay flat at the same level. And that's what I'm doing. So little leftover scraps of paper. You don't want to waste big pieces of paper doing this. But everyone has little scraps left over when they're card making, and it's perfect for this. So I'm just adding in all my layers. I had to actually get another little square. There we go. And then I will pop that on. Yeah, like I said, this is Winter Wisteria. It's a really pretty purple from Paper Tray Ink. I quite liked it. And it kind of just went with this Doodlebug Ghost Town line. Like I said, I did it in I used the 6 and the 12 inch Ghost Town. So this is a piece of American Crafts black cardstock. I cut the candy corn out that's Halloween treat or Halloween Dies 2 from Jaded Blossom. And then I'm adding in all the layers. The white and the yellow are the American Crafts cardstock. The orange in the center is Orange Zest from Paper Tray Ink. So now I'm taking that same stamp set, Pumpkin Faces, and I'm going to stamp a little face on my candy corn. There we go. And then I will color in the tongue again with that RV17. You want to be careful because remember, VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink is not Copic friendly, but you just don't want to touch the Copic to the ink. It's just, I sort of dab it in the center, and then you don't really run into any problems. At least I haven't anyway. So now I am layering up this little candy corn guy. I love this. This is a super cute little die cut from Jaded Blossom. It just makes me laugh. He's so cute. And then now I'm taking my Secure White Jelly Roll pen in number 10, and I'm just coloring in the highlights on the eyes so they are white. I hate that when there's a highlight in an eye and it's left the color that's behind it. It just, I don't know, it drives me crazy. So now I added some freckles too. So now I am adding the adorable little, what are they called? They're candy corn shaped sprinkles. I don't have the name of them in front of me. But I'm adding those on along with shaped sprinkles, all sorts of fun. They match the background. I hate all sorts in real life, but they are super cute in shaped sprinkles from Doodlebug. So, adding them, it's just adorable, I think. So I'm just adding a few just for a little bit of shine and, for some candy, right? You want to add some candy to your Halloween candy card. There we go. I thought it turned out super cute. There we are. So now we're going to add on the inside, get the insides done up. So these are just pieces of cheap white cardstock, 4 by 5¼ inches, adding them with my ATG gun. And then these are the, how they have those border pieces of paper from Doodlebug that's all borders? Well, I just trimmed out some borders from that 12-inch paper line, and I'm adding them on the inside of the cards. So super easy stuff. And I'm going to do that for all 3 cards. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and see what everyone else has. See how to get your hot little hands on this whole release early if you'd like, with the Gotta Have It Now. But you'll be really inspired, I think. And they have super cute Halloween. This is a super cute Halloween release. If you're a Halloween card maker, you're just going to love it. It's so cute. There we are. Oh, I'm just using an adhesive eraser there because I had a little hangover of my ATG tape. That sticky tape. I love that adhesive remover eraser. They're awesome. There we go. And then I'll do the last one, adding the inside. Yeah, so you'll have to tell me which one's your favorite. I'll tell you right now, the jack-o'-lantern one is my favorite. I just think it's so cute. And yeah, so hopefully, tomorrow I'll have some cute stuff and I'll have another video to share with you. So please come and, see my video and tell me what you think. There we are, trimming off the edges. And like Bob's Your Uncle, we are pretty much done. Isn't that cute? So here's all 3 cards. There we are. Yeah, there we are. And I think they turned out pretty darn cute, don't you think? So thank you so much for stopping by. And, I really appreciate that you come and take the time to watch my videos. I'm still learning, so I'm not a professional yet, but it makes me happy that people actually still want to watch them. So take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye.